The Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous land empire in history. Within generations, it split into rival states that fought each other. Its founder was born as Temujin, probably around 1162, near the Onan River. He entered a steppe world of raids, alliances, and betrayal. According to Mongol tradition, Temujin's father was poisoned by Tatars. His family was abandoned, forcing him to survive on the edge of poverty. Temujin learned early that kinship alone was not enough. Loyalty, hostage ties, marriage, and fear all became tools of survival. His marriage to Borte connected him to powerful allies. Her kidnapping by the Merkit helped pull Temujin into wider steppe war. Temujin rose by rewarding ability instead of only noble birth. That broke old tribal patterns and attracted warriors from defeated groups. He organized fighters into decimal units of tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. This made loyalty point upward to commanders, not only clans. Rivals who resisted were crushed, but useful soldiers and craftsmen could be absorbed. The result was a war machine built from former enemies. In 1206, a great assembly proclaimed Temujin as Genghis Khan. The steppe tribes had been forced into one political and military order. The new empire did not stay on the steppe. It moved against nearby kingdoms, trade cities, and settled states with terrifying speed. Mongol armies used mounted archers, scouts, and feigned retreats. They could travel far, strike fast, and return before enemies understood the movement. Their strength was not just cavalry. They gathered intelligence, used engineers, and adopted siege technology from the people they conquered. Northern China became an early target. The Mongols fought the Western Xia and the Jin dynasty, learning how to break fortified cities. The Khwarezmian Empire in Central Asia became the next great victim. A trade dispute and killed envoys turned into total invasion. From 1219, Mongol forces devastated cities such as Bokhara, Samarkand, and Urgench. Resistance often brought massacre, enslavement, and destruction. The brutality was deliberate. Terror persuaded some cities to surrender before siege engines arrived, saving Mongol time and manpower. But the empire also selected useful survivors. Artisans, scribes, doctors, and engineers were moved across Eurasia to serve Mongol rulers. Generals Jib and Subutai pushed far beyond Central Asia. In 1223, they defeated a Rus and Kuman coalition at the Khalkha River. Genghis Khan died in 1227 during the final campaign against Western Xia. His empire survived, but succession now became the central danger. Power passed to his sons and grandsons through family politics and formal assemblies. The empire was immense, but it was still a family inheritance. Ogedai, Genghis Khan's third son, became Great Khan in 1229. Under him, the empire expanded and built a more regular administration. Karakoram became the imperial capital on the Mongolian steppe. It was a political camp, trading hub, and symbol of Mongol world power. The empire developed relay stations called the Yam. Couriers, officials, and envoys could cross huge distances with fresh horses and supplies. Mongol armies kept moving west. Batu and Subutai smashed Volga Bulgaria, Rus principalities, and armies in Poland and Hungary. In 1241, European forces were defeated at Legnica and Mohi. The campaign stopped after Ogedai's death, when princes returned for succession politics. At its height, Mongol power linked China, Central Asia, Persia, Russia, and the steppe. No land empire had ever connected so much territory. The Pax Mongolica made long-distance trade safer across many routes. Merchants moved silk, horses, metalwork, medicines, and ideas through imperial networks. Travelers, missionaries, and envoys crossed regions that had once been divided by war. Marco Polo's famous journey belonged to this connected world. Mongol rulers issued passports and protected selected merchants. Their empire could be savage in conquest and practical in governing trade. They often tolerated different religions when loyalty was secure. Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, Taoists, and shamans all appeared at Mongol courts. The same empire that opened trade also demanded tribute, taxes, and manpower. Conquest created wealth, but it also created permanent strain. After Ogdi died in 1241, the ruling family entered years of regency and rivalry. The office of Great Khan was powerful but never automatic. Each royal line expected lands, armies, and influence. The empire's unity depended on relatives who had their own power bases. Gayuk became Great Khan, then died after a short reign. Monk, from Talyui's line, took power in 1251 after a bitter succession struggle. Monk tried to restore central control and continue expansion. He sent Kublai toward southern China and Hulagu toward the Islamic heartlands. In 1258, Hulagu's forces captured Baghdad and ended the Abbasid Caliphate's rule there. The shock echoed across the Muslim world. Then Monk died in 1259 during the war against the southern Song. His death broke the empire's command structure at a critical moment. Kublai and Erikbok both claimed the title of Great Khan. Their civil war turned imperial succession into open Mongol-on-Mongol conflict. Kublai won by 1264, but victory did not restore full unity. Western Mongol princes accepted his prestige only when it suited them. The empire hardened into four major khanates. They shared Genghis Khan's lineage, but not a single obeyed political center. Kublai founded the Yuan dynasty in China in 1271. In 1279, Yuan forces defeated the southern Song and completed the conquest of China. Hulagu's descendants ruled the Ilkhanate across Persia, Iraq, and nearby regions. Their court relied heavily on Persian administrators and urban tax systems. The Golden Horde ruled the western steppe and dominated many Rus principalities. Its wealth came from trade routes, tribute, and control of river corridors. The Chagatai Khanate held much of Central Asia. It guarded old steppe traditions while ruling cities, oases, and caravan routes. These khanates did not simply cooperate. The Ilkhanate and Golden Horde fought over the Caucasus, trade routes, and regional influence. Kaidu and other Central Asian princes resisted Kublai's authority for decades. The Great Khan's title no longer meant universal obedience. Kublai ruled China as an emperor, not just as a steppe Khan. The Yuan court adopted Chinese institutions while preserving Mongol privileges. In Persia, Ilkhanate rulers increasingly entered the Islamic and Persian political world. Ghazan's conversion to Islam in 1295 marked a major shift. The Golden Horde also moved toward Islam, especially under Uzbek Khan. Religious change tied Mongol rulers more closely to their subject populations. Assimilation helped the khanates govern, but it weakened a shared imperial identity. Mongol rule became Chinese, Persian, Islamic, and steppe at once. Overextension made unity harder every year. Orders from Mongolia or China could not easily control armies from the Black Sea to Persia. The empire contained different economies that needed different policies. Steppe herders, Chinese farmers, Persian merchants, and Rus princes could not be governed the same way. Kublai's failed invasions of Japan in 1274 and 1281 exposed the limits of expansion. Fleets, storms, and logistics defeated Mongol ambition. Campaigns in Vietnam and Java also showed that cavalry empire did not work everywhere. Climate, terrain, and supply lines could blunt Mongol power. In Yuan China, heavy taxes, court spending, inflation, floods, and famine damaged legitimacy. Many Chinese subjects saw the dynasty as foreign rule. The Red Turban rebellions grew during the 14th century. They mixed anti-Yuan anger, social crisis, and religious movements into open revolt. The Black Death added another blow. Plague moved through trade routes, caravan networks, ports, and armies across the connected Mongol world. The disease devastated populations in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Trade, tax income, labor, and political trust all suffered. The Ilkhanate fragmented after Abu Sa'id died in 1335 without a strong heir. Persia broke into competing regional dynasties. The Chagatai lands split between rival western and eastern zones. Central Asia became a battleground for local emirs and new warlords. The Golden Horde survived longer, but succession struggles weakened it. Later, its lands fragmented into khanates such as Kazan, Crimea, and Astrakhan. In China, Zhu Yuanzhang rose from the rebellion and founded the Ming dynasty. In 1368, Ming forces captured Dadu, today's Beijing. The Yuan court fled north to the steppe after losing China. Yuan rule in China ended, though the northern Yuan continued in Mongolia. Karakoram lost its place at the center of world politics. The city that symbolized empire became a memory of steppe power. The Mongol Empire did not collapse in one final battle. It fractured through inheritance disputes, distance, assimilation, disease, and rebellion. Its successor states still changed history. Russia, China, Iran, and Central Asia all developed in the shadow of Mongol rule. The empire accelerated exchange across Eurasia. Goods, technologies, diplomatic practices, military ideas, and diseases moved faster than before. Its conquests left trauma as well as connection. Many cities remembered the Mongols through destruction, deportation, and fear. Genghis Khan built unity from the violence of the steppe. His descendants inherited the empire, but not the discipline that held it together. The Mongol Empire fell because conquest created more worlds than one dynasty could rule. Subscribe for more files on history's greatest collapses.